Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we are going to understand that Spring Boot 4, the new changes about the REST client. How Spring Boot 4 defining the declarative HTTP client for calling the any external API. So if you are using that REST template or web client to call any external API while you are using the Spring Boot code and all, so that means you are writing lot of extra code over there. Spring Boot 4 has completely changed this with a declarative HTTP client that lets you call external REST API using just an interface. Means no boilerplate, no proxy factories and no HTTP code. If you are switched to this Spring Boot 4 and you are going to write using the REST client that is newly implemented under this Spring Boot 4, so that means you don't need to write lot of code, the generic kind of code which are basically are going to write the below version of it. In this session, I'm going to show you step by step how to make a plain external API call using Spring Boot 4, the simplest and cleanest way possible. Okay, so Spring Boot 4 basically released in the month of November in 2025 year. So it introduces a new REST client approach which is built on top of REST client. It supports virtual threads, centralized configuration and most importantly declarative API calls. So we are going to call an external API and using this Spring Boot 4 where we are not going to avoid this that boilerplate code, right? But here we are not going to supporting means showcasing that error handling part as well as the retries as well as the interceptors. That maybe I will cover in the next session. So just to clean and the plain API call. So just to demonstrate for this one REST client the new things, we need to first of all we need to create the Spring Boot application. So how you are going to create that? You need to go to the Spring Initializer site. Over there you need to put. So once you go to this Spring Initializer site, over there you will get all the options, related options, like select the Maven, Java, and make sure you are using the Java or higher than that with Spring Boot 4. The most important dependency here is REST client dependency. So I've already created the project and imported in my editor, that is a Eclipse. You can use any in any your favorite editor or maybe Notepad, whatever you are comfortable. So here I have already created that project and imported over here in my Eclipse. Okay. So here if you see that now this starter is added. I have added this Spring Boot starter REST client. Okay. This is most important dependency here in this new REST client starter, right? So this starter enables the declarative HTTP client and new REST client infrastructure. Next, we need to create the model which will basically support that while we are pulling data from any external site. So here we are going to call the external site, right? So for that either we need to create any other microservice and then communicate as the external API call, or else maybe we need to use some kind of existing which is freely available to just to demonstrating all this one. So for that we are having one JSON placeholder which will returns user data or maybe some other order post, some kind of to-dos related data. So I'm going to do some kind of these operations with the user. So for that we need to use the user details or record over here. So here first of all we need to create another package which will, let's say, config for example. Okay, and then here we need to create one record over here. So this is a user record. Okay, so let us create it. So yeah, this is got created. It's having a ID, name, username and the email, correct? So this is a that record we have created over here. Java records are perfect here because they are immutable and concise. Now comes the most important part, defining the declarative HTTP client. So first of all, we need to create an interface and describe the API using annotation. Okay, so let's create another class. Let's say user client interface. Okay, so let's create interface over here, that is user client. Okay, so now over here we need to annotate this particular client as HTTP exchange. Okay, here we need to defining, so here we can defining the path, let's say users. Okay, and under this interface basically we need to defining different types of methods. Let's say get all users. Okay, so for that we need to use the get exchange. Okay, and then what it will return, it will return the list of users. Second API which will let's say get user by ID. Okay, so for that again it's a get call, and we need to use a path variable where we need to pass the ID of the particular user, and this is the path variable that we need to pass. So that's all actually in the user client. So if you see, we have not writing any other call. I'll also show you that what was the traditional approach that we followed earlier. Okay, next basically we need to do some another configurations, right? So that configurations, so if you notice it over here, so we are not using any kind of implementation of this class. We are only defining the API contract. So Spring Boot basically automatically generate the implementation. We are not going to defining anything over here. Now we need to register this client, this interface in a Spring Boot. For that we need to use the new @import HTTP services annotation. Okay, so for that we need to create another class that is called the configurations. So let's say Spring Boot client configurations, another configurations we need to create over here. New, then class, it will be Spring Boot for REST client configurations. So obviously we need to annotate this particular class as @configuration. Okay, over here we need to use another import that was the important annotation, import HTTP services, import HTTP services. Okay, so okay, now we can defining also the groups. Okay, here, so for that what kind of group it is, so let's say it's a group of maybe let's say external API. Okay, external API, then comma, and we need to defining the type. So here basically we need to use the user client. Okay, it will be group. Okay, the type will be user client. We can also define multiple. So if you want to define multiple, then we need to use the curly braces over here, and then we need to use the comma separator, and then we can put another class over here. Okay, now here we need to create one bean. Let's say REST client HTTP service group configure. Okay, let's say group configure. Okay, REST client, REST client HTTP service group configure. Okay, now here basically we need to write defining this base URL and all. Okay, group dot, here we can write like filter by name. Okay, and then we need to defining the base URL and what kind of default like URL it is support. Okay, like filter by name, this one. Then for each client we need to defining the builder, and then this is the base URL and this is the default header. So that means that's it. Actually it will, we are going to defining over here. Okay, so that's all about the configurations. Okay, so next basically what we can do, we can create one controller. Okay, which will basically listing all this, like here we are creating two APIs, two endpoint, get all user and the get user by ID. Correct, so that basically we need to create one controller over here. Okay, so this is the controller. Then we need to use this inject as a constructor injection, this user client. The first API, this is the listing the URL, it is call this API internally. Okay, so this is the get all user that is defined over here. Another API that get user by ID, so it will call this API. Okay, where we need to pass this ID as a path variable. Now we need to start this application. We need to start as a Java application. So once it will start, then we'll run this API controller, like listing the user and get user details by ID. So as you can see over here, the application got started and it started in the 880 port. Now from either from the browser we can see, because those all these API are get, right? Either we can check from the browser or we can check the from Postman. So let me start here. So if you see that, let call this all users. Okay, so if you see that, it will return all the user, correct, right? Now if we want to return the details of this particular user 3, so here we need to use as a path variable as a 3, so it will give the details for this user details who is having the ID 3. So these two API basically we return the details. So that means if you see, notice over here, we are using the follow the approach, the new implementation of the REST client. So what was the basically approach for the traditional REST client? So let me copy some code over here. So this is the traditional REST client approach, right? First of all, we need to create the builder. We need to defining this base URL. While calling the any API, then we need to put the URI, then retrieved in the body, we need to pass, right? Same for all the APIs. But now we don't need to write all this. We just write the specification of it. Spring automatically take care of it. Okay, now these configurations also we can put into the properties file. Maybe I will try to cover into the next uh, session, or how also we are going to handle this kind of exception. Like let's say we are calling these APIs, right? We are calling these APIs, but when we are calling these APIs, then let's say we are getting 404 or maybe getting gateway timeout or any kind of errors, right? So this kind of errors, how we are going to handle for just to give the user proper message, right? So if you see, there is no HTTP logic here, we simply call the method, right? Now also as you can see, our controller calls those. So as you can see, our controllers calls the declarative client, the client calls the external API, and response is automatically mapped to Java object, right? So the request flow is very simple: controller, declarative HTTP client, REST client, and the external API. So Spring Boot 4 makes external API calls cleaner and more modern than even before. With declarative HTTP clients, you define your API using interface, configure the base URL once, and let Spring handle everything else. This approach eliminates boilerplate, improve readability, and is perfectly suited for modern application using virtual threads. If you are starting a new Spring Boot project in 2026, this should be your default way to call external REST APIs. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. In the next videos, as I said, I'll try to cover error handling and some other functional features of this. Thanks for watching. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.